team that just can't stay off the air or the Air Pro. Every Tuesday night, it's ESG Live with Chuck, Paul, and Ramir. Tonight, the Apollo Air and Air Pro Deep Dive with Chris, Mac, and Eloi from Apollo Scooters. Plus, ESG community content. Where's Alex from Scooter America, Scooter News, and more. And now, your host, Chuck Temple!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? No, actually, that's next week. Now, this is episode number 86. We are deep diving the Apollo Air and the Apollo Air Pro, two of the newest scooters from Apollo. And I think that, we've been focusing on some of the larger scooters for quite a while now. It's just, that happens to be what we got. And a lot of scooters are coming in June and July, so never fear. We're getting back to the big ones, but there's a place for smaller entry-level scooters, and really, they're what a lot of people ride first. They need to be good. They need to have good ride quality. And I think today we're going to talk about why at the price that the Apollo Air and the Apollo Air are at, they have the best ride quality out there. And we're going to talk to Apollo. We're going to take your questions. If you're catching this live, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're always super happy to have you here and seeing everybody in the live chat and everything. It's a new time, 4 o'clock. I know it's taken a while for everybody to remember that. But tell all your friends, 4 o'clock Pacific time, so whatever time that is. And if you're watching this after it's live, hit the bell notification and just hit the subscribe and the bell thing. And then that way, if you have questions, you want to be part of the conversation, you want to be part of the show, because, you can give us money and we'll say what's on your mind, and you put in the super chat like Mike Suarez always does. We got your shirts, Mike. Thank you. We'll probably get them on a show here shortly. But anyway, without further ado, we also have Alex Simon, who's halfway through his trip, crossing the whole entire United States on electric scooters. So we're going to have him on live. We're going to chat with him a bit as well. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. If you're not on the ESG Facebook group, you make sure to get on that. That's where, Mod Saturday, Photo Friday, all the good community stuff is happening over there. Also, if you're not on Instagram, we post Instagram stories, and really just it's kind of like a little, make a little post when we have updates to the content. So if you're into electric scooters, you're looking for one, you help your friends kind of help, tell them what to get, or you're just want to be part of the community and want to kind of just be at the forefront of what is this crazy industry, our social channels are a good place to be at this point. Also, Apollo is sponsoring the Facebook giveaway. The Facebook giveaway, again, is every week. And shout out to David Voss for managing that, but also shout out to Apollo, because this week they are giving away the Xiaomi air pump, I believe, which is the coolest looking air pump. It looks like a lock, but it's actually an air pump, all digital. And you don't have to be pushing it. And it actually works for cars, too, if you ride one of those things. All right, let's get the show started with Photo Friday. Honorable mention goes out to Monster Mike. I just wanted to say Monster Mike. So this is... Guapitos. Let me just get a little harp going. There it is. So Guapitos Riders, and this is, if you didn't know, it's at the Coliseum. So surprise. Now, it's a cool photo. If I'm at the Coliseum, that's the way I want to be, cruising around the thing and checking out all of Italy on electric. Next time I go to Italy, it's going to be on electric scooters. Shout out to my buddy Alberto out there. Okay, Mike says, thanks, sir. And the Instagram for Monster Mike is monster_MIK3. So check that out. Runner up this week is Rich Pasamonte. And a lot, let me turn that down a little bit. It's hurting my ears. With 20 votes for runner-up. And she posted the Shockwave 10D. This is from Electric Vehicle Philippines, or EVP. And in thanks, Rich said, David Vosk, hello. Please mention Electric Crew and Electric Vehicles Philippines for me. And Instagram is RTCHLDSP. Thank you. Instagram doesn't include the thank you. I think the thank you is just after the Instagram. All right. And let me get a little, here, I got this sound effect here. All right. And the winner this week, there it is Silmer Segala with the Green Hornet. No, it's not the Green Hornet. It looks like a Green Hornet, doesn't it? I think it does.
That's really cool.
It is cool, right? What is going on with those handlebars? It's straight out of the ESC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that. Yeah.
Or is it shorter than the ESC scooters?
I think it's right there, maybe shorter.
And do you sit on that? You must sit on that.
Like it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess maybe it's a sitting scooter because that is kind of like that. Obviously, that is so cool looking.
Yeah.
And you can display things on it too. Probably afterwards, right? Just put it in your house and it makes like a coffee table. You put stuff on it.
It's like where the cats hang out.
Yeah.
It's like he's got different levels.
That's where my cats used to hang out, was on my scooters. Okay, so Silmer posted nominating boss Meno Bombing Padilla G-Tech Innovation Z9 Philippines. So that was the comment, I guess, with the photo. Anyway, we had a couple other pretty cool photos this week. I just want to show you guys those. The other thing that we're also doing this week later in the show is just kind of like what is happening in PEVs this week. And so we kind of went through, and just along with the news, we kind of doing a little bit more like community news stuff. So it's just like videos that have come out, crazy things that have happened. Anyway, you're going to want to stay tuned. I want to know how everybody likes this segment. Okay, David Vosk posted, he got the Wolf Warrior X Pro, and we're super jealous over here.
Yeah, you got it before we did.
Yeah.
What's up with that, David?
That damn it, David. Anyway, this is the X Pro in Brooklyn, New York. I'm late, but yeah, I mean, the matching helmet on the deck looks good. I believe David likes it a lot. I'm sure he's probably here in the chat. Anyway, we're looking forward to getting it. I think we'll be getting one. There's so many scooters coming in.
It's just going to be piled with
in the
scooters
next, I think, 2 to 6 weeks, we'll probably have 10 to 12 scooters coming in for reviews. I'm talking about Mini Motors, VSET, Nami, WolfX, the new City Rider from
another little scooter
from Fluid.
Yeah.
I think there's more. I just can't think of them right now. And then also Brian Tans posted a veteran, the veteran Sherman and Dualtron MX, and this is pretty cool. Just a beautiful shot, a really beautiful shot. Riding with angels is what I would call this. No. Anyway, Brian said thank you and goes on to thank his friend. And there we go. We got the screenshot there, so I don't have to say all of it. Anyway, just thought it's just kind of an awesome photo of folks riding around. I mean, it's like when I was a kid and you get, I always want a dirt bike with gears. Is what I always said to my parents. And I think now if I was, 6, 7, 8 years old, I'd probably be asking for some of these crazy contraptions. Electric scooter, EUC, electric skateboard. I mean, I don't know. It's freedom, transportation. It's getting around. It's going wherever the heck you want, anytime you want. I mean, I don't mind going and doing little errands now because I got a couple different scooters, small ones, big ones. It's a
couple different scooters.
Yeah, just a couple. Well, at home, at home. All right, so we're going to quickly go to a commercial break sponsored by Voro Motors, and then Ramir's coming in for the community roundup. Stay tuned.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. Hey. What's up, Chuck?
What's up, Ramir?
How are you?
Good.
That's great. You look like you're in a good mood. Look at you all cheesing.
I mean, I don't want to say, but like, things are running smooth, and it's taken like 50 pounds off of me, and I'm like, it's nice. It's we talking about it, but things are good. Things are real good.
Good to see you happy, Chuck.
Yeah. And
Relaxed.
I'll tell you right now, I got second place last week. Barry got first.
Oh, this weekend. Oh, so what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, I'll just tell you right now. Go quick because I have a lot to say. Second place pickleball tournament. Cherry picking on Sunday. Yeah, and I brought a bunch. And actually, Vienna and I we really learned how to pick the best cherries. Mm-hmm. 3 things. Number 1, large. Number 2, dark as possible. Mm-hmm. So you don't want red, you want like black. Black, but not like
black and berries.
Yeah. You what they say about cherries? No. So you want to get the darkest red possible, basic, right? It's never, black would probably be, it might be moldy or something by then, but like, super, super dark. And then the third one is if you're pulling it off the stem, you don't want to have to pull that hard. If you think one's good and you have to pull hard, it's probably like not fully ripe because it's like still so strong or whatever, still too green or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I thought that's cool. And then next week is a big Newport pickleball tournament. It's like the big one. It's probably the biggest one in the country right now. This is next weekend, and I get my second shot Thursday. So
yes, my weekend we didn't do much.
Yeah. So what?
Yeah, we just stayed home. My wife didn't feel too good.
Your wife got hers?
Yeah. So she was down and out.
How is she doing?
She's better now.
Okay.
She's better now. Shout out to all the mothers out there.
Yeah.
Sunday was Mother's Day.
Shout out to all the mothers out there.
My wife, my mom, my grandma, all the women out there. Trina. That was a special day. Paul, what did you do? Paul, did you?
We never asked Paul what he did.
I was just gonna say, pickleball's going mainstream. There was a Little Caesars pizza ad that came on YouTube the other day, and it was like pickleball was mentioned in the Little Caesars ad.
Way.
Yes, I was like, oh my god, it's everywhere.
I tell you, scooters and pickleball, the two trends. And did you see that article, the Cubs bullpen or something? No. I probably get all the pickleball stuff because like Google or whatever, they know what I want to see. But the Cubs bullpen, they turned it into a pickleball court.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then you got the NFL players, right, Ramir? Challenging Mahomes. Is Mahomes that play? Some of those guys playing, they're challenging. I don't know. I'll have to find the articles.
Yeah.
Not that anybody cares about pickleball but me. And then there's one other guy we got a comment that plays pickleball too. Email.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right. So let's get into community content. This is the part of the show where we bring the people. This is the people's part of the show. And we started off with Scooter Ride Sundays. That's where we show like your group rides, with your friends, your families. Today we have a special one this week. Dedicated to Alex Simon and Brian, Route 20 guy, and Brian Patrick Rice, also known as Scooter Gang.
Scooter Gang on YouTube.
Yeah, he has a lengthy video, but let's just check out this. He met up with Alex Simon, and let's check out a minute of this. They're in Iowa.
Historic US 20.
Colorful. No one runs them over. That's good. Cornfields. Lots of cornfields, I assume.
Where is this at? What did it say?
To Cedar Creek or something?
Cedar Falls.
Cedar Falls.
Thanks.
Is that on the Oregon Trail, Cedar Falls? Or maybe it's Idaho
right,
Falls.
guys, we got the Phantom.
That's on the Oregon Trail.
Let's check out what else we got. We're going to have some maintenance to do.
I'm feeling for him when he gets into Wyoming because this is like really, really empty. Even in a car, it's really empty out there.
Unless you're going through, what is it, Glacier? And then through Yellowstone, right? I don't know if Glacier is.
But before you get to Yellowstone, it's really empty.
Yeah.
And this Mantis got a flat tire. Carter, you're going to love this. So we're going to swap that too. We got...
So yeah, he did some repairs. He helped out Alex, and you can check out that whole video on YouTube at Scooter Gang.
There's a great shot where they've got, well, actually, I think we'll see it later on, where they've got a whole stack of scooters in a hotel room that they're all like kind of up on the furniture and they're working on them and stuff.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. In addition to community content, we have my favorite part of the show, Mod Saturdays. That's where we see accessory, mods, upgrades, all that stuff that I can't do. But first up, we have Eloi from Apollo. He posted the Phantom Ludo 60 volt. So, I guess it's a mod, but it might be pretty much standard.
Well, there's an extra button, right?
Yeah, there are 2 buttons there. And
we only got ours with the 1 button.
And since they're still in prototype land, the whole Ludo is kind of a mod, I think.
It is. It's true. There's not a lot like it, right? As far as controllers and, the whole way it's put together. Cool. Yeah.
All right. Oh, next up we have Kyle Baker got 4 likes for posting my delivery setup, and so he's got all the coolers here, and the one that's on the ground he wears when he's riding around. And
is this for delivery or DiGiorno?
Pretty well equipped.
Yeah, I like it.
And I could probably get those deliveries there quick on a Wolf King.
Yeah. The scooters with deliveries is cool.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. We should sign up.
Idea.
We should sign up for a delivery service and try to deliver.
That'd be a great episode.
That'd be a good episode.
Yeah.
We should. We'll be like, I always like that TFL car, right? TFL car, TFL truck. Shout out to those guys. They all do that kind of stuff, right? And then also even like what's that British show about the cars? The real famous one.
Yeah, Top Gear.
Top Gear.
Yeah.
They might do something like that on that show, right?
Yeah.
And then they'd probably like see how much money they can make, or like they would do some. We got to start doing some stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. We also got a music video, or a video with music, from James G's D Ortega, posting the quote, "Added some LEDs on my backpack for extra visibility." Yeah, I'll just let this one ride. Let me turn it up a little bit.
He's got the Iron Man thing going on the deck there.
Is that it?
You see, there's a little swirly thing.
I just like all the look at the backpack.
I love this. This is my favorite. And the helmet lights up.
Yeah, and then you can see it's got the
signals back there.
signal thing. That's so sweet. So you can check out the Instagram 010x_PH for more 10x mods like that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
We have a scooter deck from Reddit. It was from user Scooter Magic, and he posted MOB grip tape on the 010X. So check this out. And then, over on the Facebook group, it was a whole thread of different people talking about their grips for their decks. So check it out. We have first up Walwan Damaran. And this is,
Yeah, that's right. Walwan
double grip shred lights.
Damaran.
And then we got Gregory Metcalf posted this solar flare deck. Check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. Last is Bass, Keely, Adam, Nets, Deru. And he posted this Lion King. Check that out. Boom.
Yeah. So the Keeley is the last name I see. It's not like some other language Disney, which doesn't actually make sense because Disney is Disney, right? Even if you're in Japan, right? Yep. Has anybody been to Japan?
Super chat.
There we go. There's Mike. Hey, Mike. Super chat from Mike. Thank you very much. And he says, thank you for doing this every week. And Mike, thank you for your support every single week, too. We super appreciate it. And we got the shirts. And, we can show it. Yeah, show it. I'll wear it sometime, too. No, we got to open it up.
Okay.
So Christmas in May.
Gotta thank Mike for coming through every week. He's here supporting the show, and this week supported us with T-shirts. We got a whole box with several of these in there.
That's East a big Coast dog scooters. On the scooter.
Yeah.
I love it.
Here, let me get the little. Hold on. Never mind. It's too late now.
It's too late.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. All right. Cool. All right, so and if you want to participate in, you got videos to share, you got mods, you just want to share something on the show. All you got to do is just go on the Facebook group and then just like post it when on that particular day, or it's even easier if you go into the the description of this video right now, there's a Dropbox link, and then you can get like higher quality stuff sent over, and it'll go like boom right into our computer. So if you want to send us a virus or scooter stuff or whatever,
Whoa.
you just do
Hey,
it.
we're not the pipeline, man.
Line wire.
All right, so cool. Let's catch up with ESG updates. That's us. We're going to catch up with our updates with Paul and Ramir. Let's take it away.
All right. What's up,
And
Paul?
we're back. Hey, Ramir, how are you?
I'm good. How would you know? You didn't say. I know you have kids. So how was your
Man,
Mother's
it's
Day?
he's always just chasing the kids around, and Mother's Day, and they did pick some wildflowers for Mom, which is really nice. Yeah, and so we got more super chat. No, something else is going on. I got all excited.
He's like, oh. Well, go ahead.
All right, so updates. So recently published, we've got the new Segway 9Bot ES4 reviews, not a new scooter, but is a new review, and it's on our website. Popular scooter, been around for a while. It's a scooter I'm like overly familiar with from my days back in scooter sharing when I ran a warehouse full of those things. And let's see, and then what's coming up next, Ramir?
So what's coming up next? The show is about the Apollo Air and the Air Pro. So the video will be dropping tomorrow, and the web review is up. Or no, it'll be up later as well, simultaneously as the video. What else do we have? We got some things coming, but we're gonna try out this new series with my main man Paul here. Because Paul, if you're around the office, he's always fixing something, and he's always doing something to solve a problem. Like I see all the time. How do you get this rotor straight? How do you fix this brake? Paul, he actually does it to write the articles, but we were thinking, how about we just put them on a video together, and we're going to come up with a new series, and we're going to have those coming up real soon. So thank you, Paul.
Yeah, no problem.
I think when you first got hired, I've been trying to, I've been thinking.
Yeah, we were working on this for a while. I'm going to actually have to break some stuff in order to fix it because all the scooters are kind of working right now. So I'll be bending a rotor before I straighten the rotor. I think. We'll have to pick a favorite scooter for that one. Yeah. All right. And tire pressure, Loctite, all that good stuff. And so coming up next, we are checking in with Alex from Scoot America as he scoots across America, and he's reached the halfway point. So it's a very exciting week for us to check in with Alex. Alex, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. Good to see your smiling face. I'm guessing you didn't get rained on this week?
No, drizzled on today.
Yeah.
But the weather hasn't been the greatest. It's been cold, rainy, overcast. But forward we must go. So
we saw you met up with Brian Patrick Rice this week.
Yes, I did. This week I spoke to you guys. I was in Dubuque, Iowa. I had just made my way into Iowa last week. So a week later, here I am in Lusk, Wyoming.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah,
Wow.
Just got in about, 30 minutes ago. Just in time for the show.
How far into Wyoming are you?
Go on.
How far into Wyoming are you? How many miles into?
Like a few miles.
Yeah.
I just made it into the state. So I'm right at the border of Nebraska and Wyoming.
Yeah.
So it took me a week. It took me 3 days to get across Iowa and 4 days to go across Nebraska. Again, at about 100 and 120 miles a day. Met with Brian Patrick Rice in Dubuque. So he joined us for the Iowa part of the trip, which was really cool. He had all his video equipment. So he, basically had me filmed, and I had a 360 camera on me for the entire Iowa stint, and which was 3 days. And I guess he's dropping a video. He's dropping several videos of our adventure across Iowa, and it was great. He captures me riding, the beauty of the trip, the scooters breaking down, my reaction to that. So there's humor, there's drama. Must-see TV, guys.
This is great. We're just looking at some of the photos now with the horses, and then you laying in the middle of the road. And I love the photo with the hands up and on Highway 20.
Yeah, I'm wondering which way to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, so today I'm in Nebraska at the very end of the trip, and I go to this place called a Fort Robinson State Park, which is an old fort where, like, when they fought the Indians and all that. So they have barracks, and I'm in the middle of this park, and there's these horses, these wild horses, just all over the place. And as I'm riding through, they start running towards me, and I'm a little frightened. I'm like, well, what's happening here? Are they coming to attack me? And they were just so friendly. So they're just, playing around, and we're taking pictures, and it was like the wildest thing. And these are just wild horses running around, and there were wild bison all over the place. So it's been adventurous. It's been awesome, really.
Hey, Alex, real quick. So what was, I was checking your Facebook, and you ran into the Medal of Honor veterans, and they took turns
Correct.
taking like massive walks with you across. What happened there?
Anyway, so I'm going through Nebraska, and I see in the news that there's these guys who are veterans, and these guys are between 50 and 70 years old. And I hear that they're walking across Nebraska, the whole thing, and there's 4 of them, and they take turns. One walks 6 miles, and the others follow in a car, and then the next guy 6 miles, and they're doing the whole state, which is a large state. So I'm like,
wow.
Wouldn't it be nice if I ran into these guys? So today, after I left Fort Robinson, I'm just riding, and I see this guy walking down the street with a car following behind him. And I'm like, well, here they are. So I go and I introduce myself, and he says, hey, we saw you on the news in Sioux City. So they knew about me. I knew about them. So we spent a few minutes together, and it was super fun. But yeah, so these guys are walking, to honor their 72 veterans that were awarded the Medal of Honor in Nebraska. So they're doing this walk to honor them. So I run into all kinds of people. It's such an amazing trip.
Wow. Cool.
Now, we heard a rumor that Ryan might be sending a scooter your way. Can you confirm this?
Yes, I can confirm that. After I ran into some trouble with my scooters, which we can also cover today, Ryan reached out. Gal, who owns Ryan, reached out to me and said, listen, I would like to send you a scooter to help you with your efforts. In case you run into more trouble, we'd love to be part of the trip. And I said, why, of course. So they're actually sending me a scooter to West Yellowstone, which I'll be there on Saturday. And so I should have a Ryan for the last, 7-8 days of the trip, which is going to be awesome because I've never even seen one in my life. So I'm really excited about that.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you're going to get that at the sort of the exiting edge of Wyoming?
Correct. Actually, I'll be already gone through Montana. So it is in Montana. So I have gone through Yellowstone. And then I still have Idaho and Oregon, which is a good, I'm going to say 8 days. So I'll have the Ryan then. So another addition to the trip. Really nice, and but I'm sure you guys want to hear about the scooters.
Yes. Tell us what's been going on.
So, all right, I'll go into a little bit more detail today. So, I had a 011X, which I pushed it hard. I was in Illinois. There was a lot of traffic. I sent you guys pictures of the roads. The condition were terrible. There was no shoulder. I had to ride with the cars who were going, 65, 70 miles an hour. So I was trying to just survive, really. It was so dangerous. So I had the 011X, and I pushed it hard, and I fried it. It just completely broke down. The guys from Rev Rides who sent me the scooter, they actually sent me a new controller overnight. Brian Rice and I tried to fix it. Brian knows scooters much better than I do, so he was a blessing to have there. The fuse was melted. We tried everything. We were on with Rev Rides on the phone until way past midnight, nothing to do. So unfortunately, and we didn't have the right tools to even fix it. So we did what we could, with what we had at the hotel. And so I had to retire the 011X. The Wolf, the Cabo Wolf X, which I really liked, also I had a flat tire. I couldn't fix it. We had to remove the wheel, and the screws just stripped. It was a disaster. So we couldn't even get the wheel out. So retire that. But other than that, all is well. I still have 7 scooters left. I have, 2 Cabo Wolf Warrior 11s, 2 010X Limited, the Apollo, Cabo Mantis Pro SE, and Inochem Ox. So all of those have performed, very nicely. I have had some flat issues, which ironically, I don't think are puncture flats. There's something going on with the valve cores, okay? And I don't know if the sealant, the tire sealant I have in there has something to do with it. Maybe, maybe not. But I've had to change the valve cores on a few of them, because they go completely flat. for no reason overnight. So I changed those. I changed the valve core, all as well. So we're able to fix that. Brian helped me fix a couple of the flats. So thanks to Brian Patrick Rice for being a lifesaver. And, trip is going on. I'm actually past the halfway mark. I was halfway 2 days ago. Now I'm, a couple hundred miles closer to the west side. But, it's been incredible. It's been an incredible trip, meeting all kinds of people, seeing all kinds of sites, and the scooters are getting me there. So it's been fun.
Fantastic. And then I heard that you've changed your strategy a little bit for how you're using the scooters, so you don't overload anything.
Correct. What I used to just run the scooters for 20, 25 miles, however long they would go. And now I do 10 miles. I take a break. I put them back in the trailer, take another scooter, go another 10 miles. And I am, I used to get some error messages on some of the scooters that they were about to overheat. And some of the scooters, the Apollo, I can get an error message when it's, telling me, hey, you need to give me a break. The 010X Limited also has an LCD display that will show me that there is a controller protect. It says, telling me it's about to, die. So every 10 miles I switch scooters, and it's worked well. I'm getting no error messages. I'm getting great range, and range is another something else that's really surprised me, guys. And I've ridden all kinds of weather, right? Rain, tons of wind, which was headwind, tons of wind, which was tailwind, cold, warmer. So I'm really getting to see the difference in range that you can get in the different types of weather. And I have gotten a max, say a Wolf Warrior 11. If there is headwind and cold, I will get 15, 20 miles max out of the Wolf Warrior. If there is tailwind or no wind, I can get 45. It is a massive difference. And the Apollo Phantom, the same thing, the 010X Limited. So I know most people don't ride in the conditions that I'm riding, which is probably wise and uncomfortable to say the least. But I'm really seeing like battery performance and range differences in all these conditions. And it's quite dramatic.
Yeah. I see that on the top speed runs that I do. I see a big difference. That's why I'll go like north and south, and then average the two runs together, because I'll really see big differences between the two directions. But if I average it out, then and almost it just cancels out, and I get really consistent results that way. So totally makes sense. It's a big impact from the wind.
Yeah, it's a big difference. But also on another note, Iowa was an incredible state. I got tons of media, did lots of TV interviews, newspaper articles, front page newspaper articles, radio interviews. So the message is getting out there. Which is, it's what it's all about, is making me really happy. In Nebraska, same thing. Now in Idaho, I have more interviews scheduled. People, when I go into gas stations, convenience stores, in the middle of nowhere, they've heard, about the trip.
Yeah, we saw you were greeted by the mayor in one of the towns.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went through Rushville, Nebraska, and the mayor was there waiting for me. And some of these cities, guys, it's really, I'm just an average guy, right, who's taking a trip, and all of a sudden I'm like this mini celebrity, at least in the Midwest. So I go through these towns, and these towns literally have between 100 and 1,000 people, and they come running out of the buildings.
Wow!
Like they're like, here he is, and they take pictures, and they stop on the side of the road. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Some people will stop on the side of the road and be like, hey, I heard about you, or my mother-in-law told me about you, and here you are. I'm obviously easy to recognize. I'm the only guy riding a scooter in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Yeah. So, it's been fun. That's right. The mission is, is the word is getting out, and people are hearing about scooters, especially in the places that I'm at. I have not seen a scooter, guys, at all. I've been gone for today is day 18. I just finished. Have not seen a single electric scooter other than mine. Wow. But people are paying attention, and they're interested, and they think it makes sense. Yeah. They say, what you're saying is a valid point.
So you're reaching a lot of people that haven't seen, folks riding micromobility. So that's fantastic.
It's so weird. We go right here, and there's people riding all kinds of stuff constantly, And you're saying that for 18 days you haven't seen one.
I mean, other than our
I
friends
have
who've
not
come
seen
out.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen just the people that follow me. You know,
Yeah.
like Matt
Yeah.
Yoakum. I saw him in New York. I saw Kim Richmond. She met me also in New York. But other than that, like if I'm just riding around, and I've ridden through some big cities, Chicago, Cleveland. Guys, I haven't seen any.
Wow.
Forget the Midwest. I mean,
We have a lot of work to do then.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
But
Yes,
this
we
is
do.
great.
There's a lot of upside out there. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Alex. And tell us again where people can follow you.
All right. If you can remember Zero to Epic, ZeroToEpic, you can find me on Facebook. Just search Zero to Epic. You can find me on Instagram, username Zero to Epic. Even for the younger TikTok generation, username Zero to Epic or zerotoepic.com. As long as you remember that, you can find me anywhere. Or if you Google Alex Simon Scooter,
Yeah.
I'm breaking the internet.
All
There's
right.
articles everywhere.
Nice.
All
And you're
right.
so happy to hear you're more than halfway there, and we'll be looking forward to checking in with you next week and each week until you get to your destination.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you
right.
so much for the support. I'll talk to you from somewhere on the West Coast next week.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Be safe.
Thank you.
Good ride. All right. So next segment we're gonna check in on ESG forums. So we've got a brand new, relatively new forum on our website, and where you can jump in, create your own subject, explore other subjects that people are talking about, and every week we're highlighting one of the discussions. This week the subject was battery longevity. Somebody had questions about preserving their battery, how many cycles they could get out of a battery, and you can check out the discussion that's going on over there. And Chuck came up with actually a really good graph of showing sort of if you run your battery to 50% when you and before recharging it, or versus discharging 100%, how many cycles you typically see out of your battery. Here's that chart here showing that at 80%, charging your battery 80%, and then you get 500 cycles out of it, whereas you charge it to 100%, you get 250 cycles. And this is just a sort of a generic. It's going to be different for different brands of batteries, and different batteries going to behave differently. But the overall trend is going to be similar to what you see here. So, but anyway, if you're interested in that subject or any other subject about scooters, go to our forum, go to our website, and click on community, and you'll find
Discussion, right?
Discussion, and you'll find the link to the forum there, and you can join in. We're all there, checking in several times a week, and it's one of the easiest ways to get a hold of us. And let's see. So I hope to see you all over there in the forums. And now it's time for the deal of the week. All right, the deal of the week this week is from Apollo, and it's the Apollo Air and the Apollo Air Pro. And you can find the link to those scooters in the description of the video. There are no codes this week, but they have pre-sale discounts. With the Air at $599 is going for $499, $100 off, and the Air Pro, normally $799, is going for $649, $150 off. And now, so check those out and follow the link. And now it's time for a commercial break, sponsored by U-Scooters. All right. So as you know, today's show is all about the Air, the Apollo Air and Air Pro. And in just a minute, we're going to get into an interview with Chris and Mac and Eloi from Apollo. You've probably heard the buzz about the Apollo Air and Air Pro this week, but just in case you missed it and missed our first look at those scooters, we're going to run a clip of our first look here so you can kind of get the scoop as to what these scooters are all about. The Apollo Air and Air Pro come with an awesome feature set with a thumb throttle, easy to operate brakes, and a straightforward center display. They're great for commuting short distances with a high-mounted headlight, front suspension, and legit fenders. They're really going to protect you from the rain. They've got a progressive tire profile, which makes it really stable and comfortable to ride. When we rode these, the first thing that we all noticed about them was the ride quality. They both have amazing carving ability, overall stability at high speed, and they're just smooth and quiet with no squeaks, no rattles, and no wobble. The other thing we love about them is the super clean design. They've got an original deck shape, cool looking non-folding handlebars, the center display, which is, not the easiest to read in the sunshine. It's also got a unique stem latch. We've never seen one like this before, but it's really easy to use. You just open it, slide it up, and the stem comes down. It's also got very few exposed fasteners. It's got the 2 bolts up here where you install the handlebars, and then you can kind of follow it all the way back across the deck, and you don't see any more fasteners until you get to the stem latch on the deck. In spite of having the same name, there are actually quite a few differences between the Apollo Air and the Apollo Air Pro, some of which you expect, like a bigger motor and a larger battery. And that gets you about 4 miles additional range out of the Pro and 3 miles per hour more top speed for about $200. We were surprised though to find out they have completely different front suspension and braking systems. The Pro has a front drum brake and rear regen, while the base model gets no front brake, but it has regen and a disc brake at the rear. All right, so there's our quick overview to bring everybody up to speed, and we're just going to get the folks from Apollo on the line for some Q&A, and this is going to be Chris, Mac, and Eloi from Apollo Scooters.
Paul, do you know we're matching today?
Yes, this was not intentional.
Not planned.
No.
Not planned.
And the shade, it's not quite as close in real life as it looks on the screen.
Yours looks like a cashmere.
It is. This is like
that's nice.
This is one that Kwan Yi picked up, and it was a size too big, and so we washed it we shrunk it on purpose, and now it fits perfectly.
That's great. Just send it over to my house. I'll wash it for you one time. All your stuff will shrink. no worries.
All right. So now we are joined by Chris. Nope. We're not there yet. All right. So in just a second, we'll be joined by Chris, Mac, and Eloi from Apollo Scooters. We'll be taking your questions during this segment, so please address those scooters in the live chat to Electric Scooter Guide at Electric Scooter Guide in live chat, and we'll be collecting those questions, and then we will get those questions to the scooter guys at the end of the interview. And so, are we ready, Richie? Not yet. All right. And so,
yeah, he's right.
All right, we're good. So we've got them. We've got them with us. All right, we've got you with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
How's everybody doing? How are you doing, guys? Good.
Great, thank you.
Good. Well, so we're super excited we've been having a great time riding the Air and the Air Pro and reviewing them, and super excited with the review coming out tomorrow morning. And they've been really fun scooters. Do the Apollo Air and the Air Pro, do they replace scooters in your lineup, or are they additional to like existing scooters?
Okay, yeah, great question. So as you could probably tell from the Phantom that we launched a couple months ago, we like to cannibalize our own products, and the Air is no exception. So the Apollo Light, which is the model we've been working on with Titan, is starting to show a little bit of age. It's not necessarily the freshest frame. Still a phenomenal scooter, and we love it to death. But we felt it was time to introduce something a little bit new, a little bit fresher, and that's where the Apollo Air Pro comes in. And then from there, we actually worked backwards to distill it down to its core components and make something that's a little bit more affordable, and something that will compete with the Xiaomi and the likes of those scooters.
Oh wow! And then
at $499 I think it's on discount at $499 right now, which is I think sometimes less expensive than the Xiaomi, because sometimes that Xiaomi's popping up pretty high.
Yeah, and the Xiaomi's all over the place in price. That it's kind of like it appears and disappears. It's available.
That's true.
It's
Sometimes,
not available.
yeah.
And
but
so
that's it. But that price point is putting it at the.
It's a great spot.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and then we've been getting. I've been seeing questions where people are asking, how can I buy this? Here, how can I buy it there? What countries will the Air Pro and Air be available in?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. I mean, we will be starting to roll it out in the US and in Canada, so North America to start off with. And these will very quickly be rolling out internationally with our wholesalers as well. So for now, it will be available, in North America as usual through Apollo.
Fantastic. Cool. So, so they can, right. Okay, and then when do you expect the first Air scooters to start shipping?
Also great question. And again, I hate to compare everything to the Phantom, but it's just the most recent experience we had launching a product. So from that, we really learned wait until everything is loaded in a container and on its way to us before committing to a delivery date. And that's exactly what we did with the Air. So the moment the pre-orders went live last week, everything had been loaded and shipped. And the good news is that we're expecting them to start shipping to customers around mid-June, maybe the 20th of June.
Fantastic. And then are you seeing any major difference between the pre-orders for the base model or the Pro model at this point? Or are they about even?
We're a little surprised to see that the Air Pro is doing better. I would say it's been about 60-40, and especially with the pre-order pricing. The Air Base being priced at $499, like you said, we just felt that was such a compelling proposition, and we expected it to fly off the shelves, and it did to some extent. But the Air Pro still sold more so far. Granted, it's only been 4 days of pre-orders right now, so a little too early to judge, and time will tell.
I like that the Air Pro that we got came with a slightly larger charger than the Air base model, and I thought that was a nice touch with a larger battery, larger charger, so you get a kind of evens out the charging time there. Is that how they're going to be when they ship to the general public?
Yes.
Nice.
The Pro have a bigger charger exactly for that, to keep the same charging time for both of them.
Fantastic. And I know with the Phantom, the pre-orders sold out really fast. Do you think that's going to happen here, or do you think the supply will stay pretty steady?
So we again learned from the Phantom, and we actually doubled up on our initial volume so that we can extend the pre-order period. So if we sell out, which we are aiming to do, we'll be very happy. But it's fair to say we have a good amount of supply coming our way, and we expect to be well in stock for the rest of the summer. So short answer is we would like to sell out of the pre-orders, but just because of how aggressive we were on the forecast, I don't think it's going to happen.
That's fantastic, especially for a scooter that's good for brand new riders, because you can I imagine. Or I would hope that with a lot of the bigger scooters that you've got, people have it's not their first scooter, so they're going to be able to ride their first scooter while they wait for their upgrade scooter, their Phantom, their Ghost to arrive. But with these scooters for new riders, it's pretty great that they'll be able to get them fairly quickly and enjoy their summertime. So.
That's it, absolutely. And maybe if you don't mind me jumping in, that's one of the things we tried to do with the Air and the Air Pro. We come from a world where most of our customers aren't buying their first scooter, and so it was much less education about the benefits of scooters, or what are scooters, why are they good, how do you use them. It was always really spec driven and trying to compare to the competition, explain how Apollo is better, all that kind of stuff. And with this scooter, the narrative changed a little bit, and we shifted away from, here's the range, here's the top speed, here's this feature, that feature, and we really tried to focus on, hey, if you're someone who's never ridden a scooter, why would this be a compelling offer for you? And that was flexing our kind of marketing thinking a little bit, and it was a great exercise to go through. Excuse me. So we're super excited about this launch, and as Eloi will explain in a few minutes, I'm sure, it's a really phenomenal piece of design and engineering.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? What did you guys learn from that? I don't know, that experience of trying to work with first timer, because we have the same kind of thing going on here. There's a lot of people watching, there's a lot of enthusiasts, but let's not forget that, the whole rest of the country, as we learned from Alex Simon, hasn't even seen an electric scooter, and yet we think that they're ubiquitous. What did you know? Was there any like big takeaways, I guess, from just the marketing experience of trying to start getting at the first timers?
Like what triggers them to buy?
Yeah, what are they interested in? Like what? I don't know. Just I'm wondering about that insight.
For sure, yeah. So we noticed a couple things on the what makes them buy side. It's always trial. With our existing lineup, trial hasn't really been as important because, like we said, people buy them for the specs, and the specs are what they are. With this guy, if you've never tried a scooter, you're gonna want to get on one to understand what's so special about that magical feeling that you get when you ride a scooter for the first time. And so that's why we actually invested in a couple of pop-up stores. We're gonna have one in Vancouver this summer, one in Toronto. We obviously have our kind of location here in Montreal in Canada. So we're really expanding the offer to let as many Canadians and hopefully soon Americans as well test our scooters. So that's kind of what the big driver of purchase is. Then the biggest hesitation when buying a scooter is still safety, believe it or not. So again, it's kind of funny to think about that because we come from the world where full face helmets are a must. Sometimes body armor is also something we wear. And so then to see people that look at this scooter that goes 25 an hour in kilometers and they have concerns about safety, it's not funny necessarily, but it's a little surprising to us. And so we really had to remind ourselves that, hey, these guys are not, experts that ride the Wolf on the weekends. They're really, really about to hop on their first scooter. And we kind of need to re-educate them and ourselves about the importance of safety.
Interesting.
Nice.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you designed the Pro was the first scooter that you started with, and then sort of modified that to create the base model. This is the first time we've seen a scooter that had like a different front end between a Pro and a base model. What was behind that decision to have different front ends on them?
So the original, it's a French designer who made the Apollo Air. And the first version that he ever showed us was actually the base, and it was a great scooter, as you know, like it's a 36 volt 7AH. As an entry of the line, it was really great. It was comparable to like the Xiaomi scooter and even the Segway ES2. But we wanted to have something that goes at least equal to like the Xiaomi Pro and even the Segway, the G30, with like a bigger battery and a bit of a stronger motor. So that's why we decided to go with we added the front suspension. So like this, it's not even equal to the Nightbot or the Xiaomi. It's even better. And you can see it online, right? You can buy a front suspension like this for the Xiaomi, for the Segway. So there's definitely a demand for this. Mm-hmm. And by having the same motor or 350 watt, I'm not sure what it is on the G30 or the Xiaomi, and the 10AH battery and the suspension, and you get the better handling. Well, we are better than those scooters, and that's why we decided to go with the front suspension on the front.
It's easy to overlook that it's even there, but if you compare, because we kind of compare the prices, like, oh, here's the M365 and here's the G30 or whatever. But if you compare those plus suspension against these, and the fact that you don't even know if that suspension is going to work, where this suspension works really well, it's kind of it seems it's kind of a slam dunk. Although it was not an obvious thing to do. I mean, I feel like most of the time,
there's not a lot of suspension on scooters for this price.
Yeah, and it's
almost none. You look in the database, I don't know what is there at this price, to be honest.
I mean, the obvious thing to do would be another boring clone, but you guys didn't do that. And so it was a brave, it was a bold move and an interesting and nice to ride scooter. So well done.
We get it. Like when you're Ninebot and you're making X 100,000 scooters every single year, you got to make compromises, right? The more features you add, the more things can break, and you're in the business of selling a lot with a small margin, and so we kind of try to take a step back and actually ask ourselves what was missing in that segment. And the three things we identified, aside from suspension, were the build quality, which was one, and second was design. And this is really why we were so excited at the prospect of working with this French designer who had a phenomenal eye for really sleek products, and we collaborated with him to really add the features we felt were necessary, so that we could bring something compelling to the category. We didn't want to just bring a V2 of the Ninebot Max. We wanted to bring something that was better by a bit, and I think we did that.
And we all come from the experience of like 3 years ago. We also started with Xiaomi's, right? So like we remember those days of, especially in Montreal, like we remember those days of going and hitting a pothole and you feel like your whole body is shaking because you feel the vibration and you're like, why is there no suspension on this thing? And that's why, you know, having this comfort, I mean, safety is always priority and in design, but adding that comfort, it doesn't take a lot, and it actually just it makes the customer experiences so much better, especially when riding on roads like here in New York and in Montreal. So that was a big plus.
I tell you, one of the things I'm most excited about this, with you guys getting into this sort of entry-level beginner rider scooter market, is it's so important that when people get on their first scooter, they have a good experience. Because I used to own a motorcycle shop, and we had a ton of new riders, and for us, we knew that like if you don't have a good experience with your first scooter or motorcycle, I mean, there's never going to be a second one. And the fact that this is one of the first scooters at this price point that will be supported, that, you know, has warranty, has like a person you can talk to, has, you know, parts available. I mean, I've just been, you know, the more I read online where somebody has a problem with their scooter, some, you know, scooter they bought directly from China, and like one bolt breaks and it's like done, because they just like, there's no way they're going to get that part. And so just really excited that the odds of people having a good experience with their first scooter, and then really, this is what I feel is really going to help take scooters to the next level and bring them to where more and more people can ride them, and not just people with a ton of wrenches who are super handy. And to that end, you know, I noticed your website mentions you got like 10 service centers across the U.S. Are they up and running now?
Yeah. So we have 3 on the West Coast, 3 in the center, and 4 on the East Coast. Wow. And yeah, they're all up and running and always available to consumers. But we always do also, you know, create a lot of in-house content to make it even quicker and better for the customer if they want to change an inner tube, for example. Like these service centers are really for the major changes, such as controllers, batteries, etc. And we have quite a vigorous process to get a service center on board, which takes 2 weeks of, you know, Eloi going through actual training and then lots of videos, and it's a complex process, but they are always available, of course, for major repairs.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't think the future of repair, it's really repair center. Like, we really appreciate them, they're a lifesaver, but I think it's more a question of like how easy it is to fix the scooter. If it's well designed, to change the tire, to change the controller and all those components, you open the air and you saw how like well made it is inside. I think everyone should be able to change the component on their scooter, and by doing that, creating the videos and everything, you don't have to teach the repair center, and I think it's just a better experience for everyone.
That's true. Yeah, it was getting to the motor controller. I've had, you know, harder time putting together furniture from IKEA than I have getting into the motor controller on the Air Pro and the Air. So it is pretty nice when you can just flip it over, put it on a table, and kind of do what you need to do. So. And
also, Paul, just to jump back to something quickly you said earlier, which was getting this scooter accessible to more people who never have scooters. And that's exactly as well what we've always looked at. You're seeing, you know, university students, and you're seeing lots of people who can't necessarily afford scooters, who at the end of the day would enjoy these so much more. And that's launching this allows people to, you know, not buy a bus pass anymore, because you can finance your scooter and actually, you know, pay this probably cheaper than the bus pass every month, and actually have an incredible experience by, you know, using this new form of transport. So the whole point of launching the Air was to give everybody sort of access to this fun, you know, floating carpet type of scooter feeling that we all get, which is super important to us.
Fantastic. When we heard a rumor that this is Mac's new favorite scooter. Is this true?
Yeah, I recently made a move to an apartment, and I don't live too far off from the office. So as much as I love the Phantom and all the other scooters Eloi is cooking up, the Air is just what I need in my life right now. So
do you have stairs? Is it?
That was my question too.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Are there stairs in your life?
Yeah.
If so, you should get the Apollo Air. Yeah. So that's the tagline right there. But you know, it's true. It's a short distance commuter that's super fun to ride, and not exactly a hassle to get up the stairs. So those are really the 3 things I was looking out for.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh,
cool.
Makes sense.
And all right. And it looks like we do have some questions have come in. And let's see. It looks like some of these came in for earlier things. And let's see.
Yeah, some of these questions are not for this.
Yeah, looks like we've got some summer comments. Let's see. These Apollo Air models are incredible entry-level scooters. Great job, Apollo. That's from Scootopia. And
Old Man
that's
Dan.
Old Man Dan. Hey, Dan. How's it going? And let's see. And then he also says, plus that 12 to 18 mile per hour speed is fast to a person who hasn't ridden a scooter before. That's true.
It's so true.
We think of these as
forget
entry
this.
level, but it's like when you're first time on your scooter, it is fast enough. It is plenty fast. And in fact, what I like, I probably mentioned this later in the deep dive, but is the ability to on the Pro for sure, the ability to pass bicycles. You never again end up in that bicycle traffic jam where you're like, do I pass? Do I not pass? You just pass if you want to. And so that's a pretty nice thing. Let's see. And Kim Richmond says is a great way to introduce scooters at such a reasonable price. And let's see, I can't read the one at the bottom there.
Oh, I
You
can
guys
see
pick
it.
that one
I can
up?
see it. It says, so this is from John Richardson's asking, are the guys at Apollo following the advancements of better batteries for their scooter? And I think in parentheses is the 21700 cells, etc.
Yeah, for sure. We have one ready downstairs for the Phantom. We already have prototype done for the Air as well. I won't speak too much about it because it's for next year, but for sure. And like 21700, yes, it's a nice technology. It's not that new. We're working on something else completely different, charging way faster than 21700. But for sure, we're keeping an eye open on the battery like everything else.
Fantastic. And then Kim Richmond asks, what's the maximum rider weight limit?
It's 100 kilos, yeah. So about 220 pounds is kind of the safe limit we always go with, yeah.
All right. And let's see. What else?
Those are first.
Yeah.
Choice Gaming is asking about a different scooter.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's
All right.
good.
So
We'll get that. We'll get that after.
all right. Cool. Well, I think we've pretty much covered it.
Cool.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much. Thanks so much for joining us. Any last thoughts for us?
Yeah, for sure. So we decided to do a deal with Louis Vuitton. And it's not true, not to us. But we have an Apollo bag coming for the Air to carry it, basically.
The whole thing.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah, and it's you cannot really see it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty
Oh,
nice
That's
fabric.
why it's big.
very nice.
Really strong. I lift Chris while we were sitting on the bag, so it's gonna withstand the weight of the Air. But that's coming to get the Air even to be even easier to carry around.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
fantastic.
that's good.
I just started seeing people ask about carrying bags for scooters, and I've never seen that question come up. And here you guys.
It's weird because
got one
sometimes if
already.
you need to carry it like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, is not really a problem. Like Mac probably on his commute, carrying upstairs, fine. But then, it's like a kettlebell, right?
also,
A
if you
40-pound kettlebell,
if you wanna-
35-pound kettlebell.
Yeah.
It's, after a bit.
or if you want to sneak it into a hotel and not get funny looks.
Oh, yeah. Then
Yeah.
you can ride it up down the hallways.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
And it's also
Kidding.
keep your car clean, right? Because
sure.
sometimes you
Yeah.
just keep it and keep it clean. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Okay.
great. No.
My only comment that I love, because we got a sneak peek of the review dropping tomorrow, is seeing Paul ride this like it was a Phantom, like carving it up and everything else. So all ESG viewers, have a look at this video. It's absolutely amazing. And Paul, it looked like you had a real good time on that. And we're excited to see if it's Big Dog approved as well.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. We'll catch up with you guys later, and appreciate you guys.
Amazing. Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
All right. So now we're gonna get into what?
We just need to switch the camera.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine. Whatever.
All right, so now we're going to get into the deep dive.
Yeah.
And so, lately Apollo's been sort of zigging where others are zagging. I mean, like we saw it with the Phantom.
Yeah.
And sort of the obvious thing to do with the Phantom would have been to, make a faster, just compete just on raw specifications and just make a just make a faster scooter. But instead they took their flagship scooter, just made it a feature-rich scooter in the Phantom. And this one on the entry level, they did it again, where the obvious thing would have been to go head-to-head on specs.
Just go clone.
Just full clone on the
Attack of the
365. And just go head-to-head on specs.
Yeah.
But instead, they made something with better ride quality and good looks. But those don't really translate on a spec sheet, and so it's a kind of a bold move. On their part.
That's all. And it's it's hard because a lot of people, the only way they have to figure these things out are just looking at database. They look at, okay, well, what is the top speed that they and what is the range, and what and what is the motor wattage and all this stuff. And it's cool. They actually like talk to people and figured out, hey, what's missing? I think that's what it sounded like that they did. Is they said, well, okay, what's missing from this price, this kind of entry level scooter price, and they hit on something that actually everybody fails at, and that's ride quality. Not that the Xiaomi, Segways are bad. It's just that if you're on not good roads, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, that ride quality and design. I actually learned something from the interview just now. I didn't know about this French designer who had designed it, and it just kind of makes sense because it has a ton of design for, especially for an entry level scooter.
Yeah, for sure. It does not look like a printer.
Yeah.
Shout out to the review that's coming tomorrow. There's some fun moments. It's actually one of my favorite reviews I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's
I was having a hard time critiquing it yesterday. We watch all the videos before, before they final edits before they go out, and we're supposed to be critiquing them. And I just found myself just watching it because I just felt like we packed a lot of good stuff in there. So let's go ahead and get into we'll get into the performance of the Air Pro. We'll start off with range, and here we've compared it to the Air and the Air Pro with the M365 and the 9 Max, the G30 LP, because price-wise, especially with the introductory prices, this is kind of where they line up. And the Air Pro comes out with more miles, and then it kind of goes down from there with the Apollo base model coming in third. And obviously, the G30 stomps if everything on range except for some extreme scooters.
The older one,
yeah.
Right?
So
we
that's
don't have
true.
The range on
so
the
new
newer
one's
one.
probably less. So the G30 got 28 miles, and the newer one's probably a little less because it does maintain its speed for longer. But if you're going, if you're going more than 17 miles one way, then okay. G30 is the way to go, but most people don't, and then you don't have to carry the extra weight. So we'll get into top speed next. Speaking of maintaining speed, and the Air Pro comes out on top here at 18.8 miles per hour, and then it kind of goes down from there. And then the G30 is not far behind, and it's like, as I mentioned before, I love. Getting up above 15 miles an hour is that zone where all of a sudden you can pass bicycles if you want to, and that's so important. At the 15 mile per hour zone, all but the fastest bicycles you can pass.
That's right.
But you do find yourself thinking about, am I going to cause a
also
different kind of traffic jam?
It's your acceleration too, because there's a big problem when the bikes get in front of you because you're on a scooter that might have a fast top speed but slow acceleration. And that's rough.
And you have that really awkward pass where you're like, excuse me. You're kind of like trying to edge by.
Or you got the wolf horn. Not that the wolf would be slower off the line, but like, you ding the bell, or you ring, the electric horn. Anyway, I just yell at people, hey, I'm on your left. Anyway. And
so next we have acceleration. And we can see that the Air Pro has the fastest acceleration time of the bunch from 0 to 15. And part of that is just that the power comes on sooner. It's with the M365 and with the Max, it's you kind of mash the throttle and it really rolls on. It kind of takes a while to get going.
If you even get the right, the 9 Max.
That's where you have to time it.
Do have, that's a tricky throttle, come on, if you're trying to go fast right away. That's a rough one.
Glad you brought that up because I forgot all about that. So a lot of people don't know this. So the 9 Max, so if you hold the throttle down, so I'm standing still, I hold the throttle down, and now I push the scooter, nothing will happen. I will coast to a stop. because you have to push first and then apply the throttle, and that's not the case on these scooters.
Yeah.
You can hold it down and push, and you don't have to like time when you're pushing.
Yeah, which I
don't.
I just don't understand why they do that on the
Yeah.
Max. It just doesn't make sense. So anything is better than. I mean, it's just
That was a problem.
That's rough.
The rental scooters that we used to run would do that too, and we used to get a lot of
Probably
like failed
complaints.
scooter complaints because people just thought it was broken. They would try
Especially-
like once, and that was it.
And the worst is when you're starting on the uphill.
Yeah.
Especially for smaller
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Super
because you got to
rough.
get it moving, keep it moving. Now apply the throttle,
Yeah,
and then it slows down too much.
Yeah, and if you apply it all the way, sometimes it just doesn't kick in. And anyway, so this
please don't do
throttle
that.
is a good solid. It's not tricky.
Yeah.
It just kind of works. But it is kick to start. I don't think you can change it
That's
to
right.
zero start.
Yeah, and it's very straightforward. I mean, there's not a lot of options. I mean, you basically have your gear 1,
Yeah.
gear 2, gear 3, cruise control on or off, and that's about it. And so next, we get on to hill climb. I found that the Air and Air Pro, they were really good on our usual hills, on the range test hills, like 4%, 6%. On 10% hills, you really start to feel the limit. I mean, they even spec it that's kind of the limit. And you definitely, sort of feel that. You can see it here that the Air and Air Pro didn't get up the hill as fast as the other two scooters, and in fact, the base model was lagged quite a bit behind the other ones, but it did make it up the 10% hill. So it's but that was really right at kind of the limit.
Yeah. Yeah, the Air may not be the scooter when you have super steep. I mean, 10% grade is actually quite steep.
It's a very steep. It's a kind of you're really kind of like huffing, like in counting steps when you're going up a hill that's 10% or more.
Yeah.
It's pretty steep. And then braking is next, and so here you can see that the Air Pro was really excellent. The 9-bot, both the G30 and the LP and the Max are like extremely good on the brakes, and definitely like no fuss braking. And the Pro is the same way. You just kind of mash the brake and it stops. In fact, we've got
and the Pro is the one with the drum.
Yeah, it's got a drum up front.
Which is so interesting.
Yeah, it's got a drum up front and then regen in the back. But to me, it's a really great combination because you really the drum brings you right up to the point of almost locking, but it doesn't really. It's
That's
really
the nice
you almost
thing
can't lock
for
it.
new riders.
Yeah.
I think that's just such a smart design choice.
And then with regen in the back, it also can't lock, and so you never fishtail. On the base model, it actually takes more thought to stop the base model because you can skid the back end, and it will. It can. When you skid the back end, it wiggles around a little bit. But we've actually got a video clip of the Pro model coming to a stop, and you can see just it's very no drama. You also hear the beep right there of that's cruise control kicking in, and then.
And that's not really technique. That's just you're smashing on it.
Yeah, just mashing the brake all the way on, and leaning backwards a little bit as I always do. But it's just that's what I like about this the Air Pro, and also the 9-bot Maxes is that they're just very no fuss. Mash the brake, it's gonna stop with no drama, no finesse, no technique to speak of. So.
Which probably contributes to safety.
It does,
especially for new riders that are concerned about safety. They're the ones that probably need them to be safer.
I love disc hydraulic brakes, but as anybody who's ridden those or even the cable brakes know, if you grab a fistful of front brake, you can get yourself in trouble. So for a new rider, this is great. And let's see what else. Oh, and then weight. I've got a chart of the relative weights here, and these are our weights. We've weighed these ourselves, and so these are verified, accurate weights. And you can see that they're kind of middle-ish, but they're not bad. I mean, this is the kind of thing you could haul up a couple flights of stairs, and
as Mac does apparently. Yeah. I mean, So it's Anyway, I could talk all day about going upstairs and what weight and whatever, but this would work for that. For sure.
And so we'll take a little closer look at the scooter now. And they mentioned the French designer that designed these scooters, and it makes sense when you see the handlebars have this really swoopy design to them. They kind of thicker in the middle and they taper out at the ends, and they kind of swoop upward, and just kind of give you something nice to look at when you're riding the scooter. And which is a nice departure from just sort of the big T that you look at with with the 365 or the G30. And then next we have the headlight, and this is something we haven't seen before. It aims a little bit. I guess the Wolf Warrior and the Wolf King have an aimable headlight, and some of the low-mounted ones do.
Maybe the boosted rev had it. maybe.
Oh, really? Up high?
I think so.
Okay. It does have one up high. I just
check.
couldn't remember if it was aimable.
I thought it did. Right. Anyway, who cares about that one anymore?
Yeah.
But anyway.
But anyway, yeah, you can sort of you can see a little
Yeah, it
pivot
is a
point,
little bit of,
and it's got a
adjustment.
reflector, and then you can
Yeah.
kind of pivot it up and down, which is kind of neat. And then it's got the stem clamp, which you saw me demo in the video, is kind of neat. It's like a triple stem clamp. You can adjust each of those individually. You don't really need to out of the box. It works really well, but it's just really quick. And you just you clamp it down. It's not as stiff as like the aftermarket clamp that they sell. What do they call that? They just call it the big clamp or the stiff clamp or the the accessory clamp that Apollo sells
For
now.
like the Apollo Pro?
For the pros
for
and things, and even the Ghosts they offer.
Oh,
for it
okay.
now.
Okay.
But in any case,
the ruggedized.
The rugged. That's
yeah.
that's the name I was looking
Which
for.
doesn't which makes it really hard to unfold.
Right. Yeah.
But-
And so this is really fast because you'll see there's
super fast.
There's no twirling when you do this. When you just open it and close it, there's no wobble. Like when you're riding it, they absolutely no like wobble on the stem. It's not as ultimately as stiff as like with the rugged clamp or even with the G30. But on the G30, I actually get like too much stiffness coming back into my thumbs. And on this, I feel like there's just enough sort of flex. It's like, anyway, I like it. And what else? Okay, so we've got, and then it's got a really quiet ride, and not just in the motor sound, the tire sound, but like just things not rattling and doing funny things. And I've got a clip of that as well here.
Sounds noisy because of the air, probably.
Well, I'm going right past the BART tracks here too. But,
well, there's a BART going by.
but now that I'm on the rough pavement, you can hear like the suspension working.
Yeah, it's not a clickety clackety. Flop 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 fender noise. You don't really get that stuff on the scooter. It's well built.
You also get a nice view of the handlebars in my gloves, which I love. All right. And then one of the reasons for that, the nice ride and the quiet ride on that are the tires. And we've got a close-up shot. This is another sort of sneak preview of the video that's coming out tomorrow. We've got a close-up shot, and this is the on the right side, the M365 tire, which is very circular, for lack of a better word, profile. It's just kind of round all the way around. And then the Air and Air Pro have this sort of a peaked, I call it a progressive tire profile in the review, but it gets very flat on the sides, and you can see sort of the dark area, the contact patch when you lean over is a lot more recalculated. We actually measured, we took like water, we made little marks and measured how wide the marks are and things, and it was 30% more contact patch when it's leaned over on the Air and Air Pro versus like the M365. And it's just that profile. So as you lean over, it just gets more blunt and you get more rubber on the road, and it just makes it want to just kind of stay put at that lean angle. And so it gives you that feeling of stability once you're turned in.
Well, and also, I don't know if this has much to do with it, but 10 inches versus the Xiaomi's 8.5.
Right.
Right. So it's like if there is a bigger tire, right?
But even versus the 9-bot, it's more stable.
Oh,
this
it's
is
more than the
more
9-bot
stable.
too.
When you're leaned
Okay.
over, it's very similar.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got one last sneak preview of tomorrow, and this is a great drone shot that Richie and Ramir put together of me slaloming through some cones. We wanted to kind of check out the handling on all four of these scooters compared to each other.
That's cool. So that's like full acceleration?
Yeah, that's just going just as fast as I can go through all the
that's
cones on
interesting.
all the scooters, and it was fun just to see what that felt like.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, I mean, overall, right? Like, what would you say are the top things about the scooter?
To me, it's just the stability. It's so stable at speed that it has. It's very smooth. You can really feel the suspension, and surprisingly, the suspension on either one, like the front end, feels almost the same, and they're so different looking. but both front ends work really well and both give a really solid ride. But yeah, just the handling and the just the ride comfort and the overall stability. I've like vowed never to ever ride with one hand on the scooter again, but I was really tempted on the scooter. Yeah, because it's so stable.
I remember I rode the Air, right, and then I rode the 9bot Max right after, because I was like, okay, well, this is the ones that we got to compare us to. Like I gotta, you gotta refresh yourself, right? And I just remember being like, wow, this is way more like, what do you call it? Just stable. It just felt so much more, it's like where one, it's like the handlebars, if you were to ride with one hand, one would like be wiggling a lot and the other one doesn't wiggle so much. And whatever they did to make that happen.
Was it the Big Max or the Little Max?
It was the bigger one.
Yeah, the bigger one is the more stable of the two, too, because the LP is a shorter wheelbase and it is less stable.
So it's weird because even so, that was one of the biggest. Because I tend to say, most people say the 9bot Max is one of the the best scooters out there, right? But when it comes to ride quality, I put this ahead of that. By not a little.
Yeah, me too. And we don't mean to dump on the Max. We love the Max.
No, Max is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I still recommend it to people. It's a great scooter. But I feel like Apollo has kind of found its one weakness. I mean, its one weakness is not range. I mean, you don't go head to head with the Max on range. Yeah. The G30 LP, yes, you can beat it on range as we've seen.
But most people that are, I shouldn't say most, but when we did our survey, right, this was a couple years ago, it was 4 to 6 miles was the average amount of range. Now, obviously, some people are going to ride longer, right? And then they'll probably get a bigger scooter, right? Most likely. But for, 3, 4, 5 mile commutes, that's, it's like, does the 17 miles of the Pro, is that going to be okay for most? Well, yeah, it's like probably 95% of people that ride scooters is probably more than enough.
Yeah.
And so if you don't need the range of the Max, then it's like, okay, what scooter do I want to ride today? And I think in my head, like, do I want to ride the Max or this one? It's like, this one's a nicer ride.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like Apollo has found like the 1 or 2 weaknesses that the G30 had or the G30 LP had, and that was, ride quality and design. It's not bad ride quality that the Segway, the 9bot Max has. It's good, but it's not great. And I don't want to get on it and go, oh, it's got great ride quality. But the Airs I do. The Airs I look forward to getting on those and just looking at it and all that. I mean, it's just
The other thing I thought was interesting is not a lot of kind of local. I don't know if you consider them a small business, but just not the Segways and the Xiaomis and the whatever the world are even willing to go and compete at this entry level price. I mean, you got, I guess Fluid has a City Rider, which is getting refreshed.
Yeah.
Voro doesn't compete there, right? They compete at the higher end. Like I guess like a Creo Motors maybe has some. No, I don't know if. I mean, it's like the Cabo Air. I don't think anybody buys that. Yeah. There's nobody that's really like invested in a product to compete with the Xiaomi and the 9bot Max, except for all the clones that you see on, Amazon, whatnot. None of the companies that actually give you service, right? Like Apollo.
Yeah, I was going to say there's GoTrax, but they're notorious for not having service.
Yeah. So I mean, like a company that actually is the up and coming company, and there's a handful of those in the U.S. and North America right now, Apollo being one of them. They're breaking into kind of a new territory. I think it's ambitious. I think it's awesome. I'm excited because I think that to give new riders a good experience is good for this industry.
Very good for the industry. Yeah.
So
and knowing that, they know that, we know that, we know that they're going to support the heck out of this thing to give people a good experience because that's what the investment's in.
Yeah, and then they're going to buy their second scooter. Yeah. I don't think they're making.
They're not going to make a ton of money off this scooter.
Yeah.
This is an investment in the whole community and in just the whole getting more people on 2 wheels. So it's cool stuff. Yeah. And I mean it's just I don't know. I guess to sum it up, it's a good looking scooter that handles really well. And it reminds me of my first car. My first car was an MG BGT, and it was like, I love that car, and I thought it was fast, but it was actually really, really slow. It was like 10 seconds 0 to 60, but it had awesome brakes and it had awesome steering, and I didn't crash into anything in that car.
That's
and I was a complete idiot. And so, and so this is kind of that same formula where you have not a ton of speed, but great, great brakes and great handling, really helps keep you out of trouble.
And that Pro, 18.9, right? 18.8?
Yeah. Not bad.
Not bad. I was thinking about doing a whole monologue on, earlier on like why faster isn't necessarily better, right? Just because I find myself wanting to ride slower scooters because I will ride as fast as a scooter lets me ride. That's always how I ride. I don't know if,
when I owned my motorcycle shop, I used to tell my customers, there's a certain joy in life in taking the self-control switch and just turning it off. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to take this slower thing and ride it like an idiot, and I'm going to be fine.
But if I ride a slower scooter, I'm going to have an enjoyable time. I'm going to see more of the city.
And very little self-control required.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't have the monologue, but I just think that like there is a place. It's not necessarily how we would ride every single day. It's like Ramir is the fast rider, right, Ramir?
I like to go fast. The scooters, let me say this because I see a bunch of big dog comments about the scooter. I guess I'll give my perspective. Quick sneak peek. You have to watch the video tomorrow and also just click on the website to get my full analysis of the scooter. But I'll say this right now with the Apollo. And, my first scooter was the 9x Max, and I liked the 9x Max. It was pretty great. But it wasn't comfortable. Like, when going on the sidewalks, hitting bumps, it was kind of like rough. And with this one, I'm upset that it's rated at 220 pounds.
Well, so was the 9x Max.
Yeah.
That's true.
They're not meant, right? They're not meant for the big dogs.
But if you're tall, 6'3", slender, you can get on this scooter. It handles, the handlebars are pretty in a comfortable space, and it feels good. It's one thing. What did I tell Trina last week? I thought this scooter was one of the best entry scooters to introduce you to the rest of the scooters that come next. So when I was riding the 9x Max, I wasn't looking for the features of the next level type scooter. So this scooter is an entry level scooter that has the features, like the suspension alone. Like my favorite scooter was because of suspension. Like, we all know what it is. I love you, baby scooter. You know who you are.
The name?
Nah, that's touring.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
right. Your first love.
Yeah, but this one, same thing. You get on it, the suspension on the Pro. The Air wasn't my cup of tea, but the Pro is stable. It feels great. Like Paul said, you don't ride it with one hand. Secret, you can. Like, every time I get on
shouldn't.
Every time I get on it, I'm like riding because it's so stable. So, I wish it was really meant for big dogs because, the performance is not there. The same with the 9x. Like, it wasn't rated for more.
It's not going to take you up a big hill.
It's not going to take you up a hill, but it's serviceable. And the feeling of this scooter is worth it to me. So I understand what they're trying to do. And I'm actually jealous. I might get under 220 so I can get the performance. I might.
Yeah.
It's light. It's nice.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, interesting. Cool. And we had a super chat a while back, and I just want to shout out to, there's a lot of comments, to Frederick Buckley. Frederick says, "Hey, ESG, keep up the great work." Thank you, Frederick. Appreciate that. Keep them coming.
Thanks, Frederick.
Yeah, thank you. And we had, I don't know, do we have more questions about the Apollo Air? And did you get? Yeah, you got everything here. But Q&A on the Apollo Air. The Q&A is like there's like questions about all kinds of different stuff. But I think we probably got most of it. If you have more questions about the Apollo Air and Air Pro that we can help you with. One
more thing. Hit the like. If you're watching this right now, hit the like button. We really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's watching. We love you people out there.
So here's a question. Danny Zidane asks, why does the base model have a disc brake and the Pro model has a drum brake? It shouldn't be the other way around. That is a great question. It actually works really well the way it is. The big thing to me is not necessarily the type of brake, but where it is. Having the having the mechanical brake on the front, on the Pro, definitely is where the big advantage in braking comes from. Having the disc brake on the back just helps you lock up the back really easy, whereas I actually think a drum on the back would have been plenty. And the Pro's got the drum on the front and the regen on the back, which is like the ultimate like no fuss, like really decent braking combination.
If I were to choose the Air versus the Air Pro, for the difference in price, it would be Pro. The Pro is absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
If you are somewhere in that category and you can spend a little bit more, it's it's safer, it's faster if you want it to be, right? More powerful for the acceleration, hill climb, way more range.
You
just
funny.
get so much more for $150 or whatever it is.
I mean, I really noticed the power on the 10% hill. The rest of the time, it wasn't as noticeable as I expected it to be. You think like 250 watts versus 350 is going to be like almost 50%
on a smaller
more.
grade, you're not noticing
I
a big.
didn't really notice it that much. And then top speed, I didn't like. It wasn't super obvious. On the hill, the 10% hill was super obvious. But for me, it's all about braking. Like I'm always like.
Well, I think that at 13, it's fine. 13 miles of range, fine. But I'm making sure I'm charging that every single night. I don't want to forget it. At 17 miles, you can forget. You can forget sometimes. And you can go a couple routes to and from home. Like I'm 3 or 4 miles. I don't really want to forget because I don't want the scooter going at like 1 bar and I'm going to be nervous, right? Yeah. And that I don't know. Anyway, the 17 is nice.
All right.
Kim Richmond asks, is the handlebar adjustable for the more petite rider?
It is not. Yeah, it's much like the M365 and the G30. Everything's fixed. So the bars themselves, when you're there's also getting into portability, but the handlebars don't fold down, and then the stem doesn't fold, or it does fold down, but it doesn't.
Telescope.
It's not height adjustable. So
it's 40. What is it? 40.5 inches.
I don't remember off the top of my head. You remember all these things.
I remember it being good.
Yeah, I remember being in the zone, and that 40. I know 40 inches is in the.
I think you have it at. I don't know. I see here 40.0.
Yeah.
But I thought in the video it said 40.5, but maybe I'm wrong. So I personally think that is the sweet spot personally for that handlebar height. Now, if you're a petite person, it's harder, I think, to find something that really fits, because that one might be higher for you. It really depends on how far your hands go above your feet, the length of that, and then seeing where the crease is. And I think you really want to be hopefully around 90 degrees, not too far off of that. Yeah,
and it was the same height from deck to handlebars on both of them. Although the Pro does sit overall a little bit taller because of the different forks and then the larger rear wheel. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Any other questions?
I think that's
okay.
Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah, we got other questions. We can cover them at the end of the show, but I guess we should probably move on.
All right. And let's see. Now a
quick commercial break, sponsored by Bora Motors. Right?
Yep.
There we go. There we go. This guy Choice Gaming says no commercials. Hey, Choice Gaming, we're gonna get to your question. Don't worry. but we have to have commercials. How do you think we're doing all this? Anyway, okay. Okay, whatever.
Get to his question right now.
Yeah, get to his. You pay us, I'll get to your question right now.
Oh, no. Not that.
All right, first news
so,
is Paul.
Yeah, in the news, we went and got some news of our own this week. I have my younger brother, Morgan Trammell, went out to Apple Valley. He lives in Apple Valley.
Apple made their own valley?
Oracle, Larry Ellison's got an island. I guess Apple's got a valley.
They got to compete.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the Apple Valley Speedway, my brother Morgan went out and shot some footage of a PEV race down there, and they had skateboards and EUCs and a couple of scooters. And so let's check it out. There's just a small number of scooters, and they had a couple of three-wheelers out there. These sort of scissor-legged scooters. You'll see them right here. Love this.
Those are crazy looking.
Yeah, one of those won because they ended up putting up against the up against two wheels.
Look at this guy.
Oh, his little peg scrape right there.
Hey guys, Chris with the Electric Life here. I brought my 010X up to Apple Valley. It's the only thing that fits in the Mustang GT over there. So that is cool. That's one of those things that you don't think about. I have a VSET 11 and I couldn't bring that thing out. It doesn't fit in the Mustang. So got the 010, pretty standard 010. I did add a little alternate shock back here. That's kind of a little aftermarket. But everything else is pretty stock. It's old school. It's still got the mechanical brakes. Added a little bar up here. Sometimes I do some drone work. So if I put my controller up here, bam, bam, it's pretty easy to do. And also, guys, I installed a thumb drive. So a lot of these don't have a thumb drive on here.
Throttle right
Yeah, I know
here.
some people are real particular about thumb drives. For sure. It's kind of nice. I got to actually agree with them to a certain extent that having two things to go is not cool.
Right, yeah, you're opening your hand up and losing your grip.
Yeah, this is very much a good 1-2, and you can keep everything on. So
Nice.
I love that. Yeah.
Thumb for the win.
Anyways, guys, about 1,000 miles on the 010, and
Wow.
been awesome. So
There he goes. That's him on the
customer.
010X.
Now, if somebody's thinking about coming out here, is there anything you would tell them, like what to bring or
Ooh.
safety gear-wise?
Well, definitely, guys, like water. It's hot as hell. I'm from San Francisco. This is gonna.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm just so grateful that my brother Morgan was able to get out there
Yeah,
and do that.
thanks, Paul's brother.
Yeah, I really wanted to go down myself, and it just didn't. It was a long, it was an 8-hour drive, and it just didn't work out for this time. But now he even got the writers' meeting for me.
Well, Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's sometimes you get cheap track time on holiday weekends.
That makes sense.
Yeah, nobody's booking that weekend. So, he got the writers' meeting and all that. So I really got a feel for kind of what the event is like and how many people are there and what's competitive and what's not. So hopefully they'll do that again. We'll at least keep reporting back from the races as they happen, and then maybe we'll get down there ourselves one of these days.
Nice. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul's brother.
Thanks, Paul's brother. Great.
What's his name again?
Morgan Trammell.
Morgan Trammell.
Yep.
Morgan T.
Thanks, Morgan Trammell.
All right. So earlier in the show, Chuck mentioned that we're going to bring some exciting stories that was floating around the internet. So we found this one on Reddit and it's on YouTube. But it's just a quick reminder to always be aware of your crossings and your intersections, even if you have the light. Just always roll a clip, Richie.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw this one. Here it comes. Wait to the end. Just wait. Oh, it's red.
Oh, he was against the light.
Yeah, he ran it, but look, he walks off without the scooter.
That's amazing.
Probably smart. He probably wants to get out of there and just sit down, right? Sometimes you just got to get out of there and sit down and then look at your body.
Yeah.
Make sure you're still all put together. Anyway, hey, but don't let that happen to you. Anyway, I just saw that. Anyway. Also, I saw another video on YouTube this week. It was a scooter that burst into flames in a parking lot. This is apparently an FLJ scooter, which we haven't gotten any of these scooters before. I've heard of them, and we may even list this one on our website. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Just the specs of it, in the database.
It's definitely a scooter I've been hearing people talk about lately.
Yeah. It's one of the more well-known kind of.
To je sam ja sreću.
Yeah, this looks scary. Yeah, we'll turn down the volume to save you from the...
Yeah.
And if you're ever around something like this, do what he did. Get far away.
Oh, he didn't get that
This is
far.
like 40 miles of range in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Of just sheer energy.
And it is one of the worst smells you could ever smell, and it's
Is that right?
incredibly toxic. I think it's like fluorine gas or something. It's like really, really
Did this
bad
ever
stuff.
happen? I can't ask you that.
I can't say.
Okay. Well, I know.
I can say that I have. I can say that I can't say where I saw them, but I can say that I've experienced a couple of battery fires.
Okay.
And that they are scary and horribly
Very
smelly,
scary, right?
and then the smell stays forever. Like that car probably still smells like that fire, even though it was like not even that close.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I would, it's why we say buy from a reputable place. And and actually, when I talked to, I think it was the Enokim guys, I chatted with the Enokim owners a couple months ago. And, in Israel, like they were getting, before they started, they were getting a lot of, Chinese clone scooters, just no name, whatever, where they're really just, you're trying to, people are trying to save, whatever it is, 20%, 30%, 40%, maybe even, right? Mm-hmm. And the number one thing they say is like, when people do that, these manufacturers are cutting costs, and and we know where the cost in electric scooters are coming from, is the battery, right?
Absolutely.
So they cut the cost in the battery. I don't know anything about anything. I do know that I do not want that to happen in my basement.
Yeah.
With family at home.
And it's two things. Is one is like it's good to be aware of, especially if you have a just kind of a generic scooter. But the other side of the coin is that the sharing companies with really well made scooters have been handling thousands of scooters per city, charging hundreds and hundreds of scooters per day, every day, and these scooters get ridden, day and night all over the place, and
they're getting bonked, right?
Yeah, they're getting bonked, and they're getting dunked, and all kinds of things, and
dunked.
And the scooter companies for the last couple of years in the U.S., I've not heard of one fire. Which was, it's not the case. Like in 2017, 2018, there were a couple of things here and there on the street or wherever. But I feel like the BMSs and the battery quality has really gotten to a good place that this has become such a rare thing. And I feel like with the high quality scooters, it's almost unheard of now.
We have not. I mean, we have probably 60 scooters over there right now. We have not had any battery fire type issue ever, or even like an inkling of it.
Anything,
yeah. So I mean. The ones that, I don't know, it just, do whatever you want. But when you buy from the alleys and, whatever, you just don't know what you're getting a lot of times.
Especially the battery, because that's one of the variations. You think all the scooters are the same. Oh, this one looks the same on the outside. Guess what? The one thing that gets changed out all the time, different variations of all these scooters, is the battery.
It's just save cash. I mean, we even get the same scooters from reputable brands. I mean, this is a couple years ago. We would test the same one, and they would just, the OEM, the manufacturer, would put in different motors every time. They're just going for the cheapest thing. Yeah. And so there's not that quality control. Anyway.
And then it falls on the distributors to kind of impose that, and that's the whole reason that companies like Fluid exist and Apollo exists and Voro is that they became that gateway and that keeper of the quality.
And I think that in the U.S., I mean, many countries, right? I only know the U.S. and I know a few other ones. We have a very high standard for consumer products here compared to other. I'm not going to say which countries, but other countries. Yeah. Whereas they're like, hey, this thing happened. It's like, all right, well, that's it's what happened. Whereas us, we wouldn't have that here. Yeah. Like companies would go straight out of business. Like it would be a horrible thing if that were to happen. Anyway, all right, moving on.
Micromobility news now. More forms of micromobility are coming. You could take a test drive in an electric three-wheeler pod. Check this video out. Or is it a video? Yeah.
I want one of these.
You do.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I might be able to get my wife to start driving if we had one of those.
Well, it's cool because when you look inside, it looks like a car inside. When she opens a door.
Electric cabin scooter.
Cabin scooter.
Yeah.
I'm driving Renault.
She's in Sweden or something, I think.
I am thinking about swapping.
Very cute.
Lindenberg.
So that's gonna be really
Is that where?
And I can't tell. Is it a tandem two-seater?
So actually, later in the video, probably won't watch the whole thing, but there is either a cargo area or a place for a second person to sit. And again, like I think these are coming. Like I don't know when, but they're coming. I mean, in many countries, they're already here, as you can see. Is that VW?
Yeah, I think she's stuck that on there.
Oh.
But to me, that's what it's all about. Tandem two-seaters would be the trick because, so many how many times do you see a car that's got more than 2 people in it? And it's like, it's really rare.
Yeah.
And for cities, you don't need a freeway-capable car to get around town.
Yeah. I mean, I think again, for the rural folks, not anytime soon, but for the urban folks, it's nobody wants to drive anymore because you if you can get something like that, but maybe a little skinnier. If it can go kind of in the bike lane, maybe not, but a little bit around the cars at the stop.
Be so perfect.
That's what you need.
So perfect for taking the kids to school.
Yeah. All right. Finally, Toronto bans. Wait, where's my sound effect? Is that the right? No, this one. Toronto bans electric scooters for, quote, safety reasons. So I guess, probably most of it is due to the sharing market, unfortunately. I think, just bad behavior.
I just wonder if it's laziness on the part of the cities when they do this sort of thing. Because, you can look and, you can look at lots of other cities are doing fine. It's why it would be safe in Los Angeles and Paris, but not safe in Toronto. I mean, maybe in the wintertime when it's snowing, but and then they went and they banned private scooters too, which is horrible.
That's the thing.
People already own these things.
Yeah, and a lot of the complaints, right? Because I follow the safe. It's like Safe Walkway SD, and I had the guy on. Yeah, that was like
that's a brave move, by the way.
Yeah, very not.
It's kind of an anti-scooter
guy. He's a very anti-shared scooter. But I asked him, and I don't think he was really anti-scooter. He was anti-bad behavior, leaving them on sidewalks so wheelchair people can't get by, riding them on sidewalks, riding them with 2 people. Of course, no helmet. But I think he wasn't even concerned about the riders as much as the people that the riders are impacting.
I think it's so good that you listen to that guy because if you can make that guy happy, then we can make the world happy and we can all get along. It's like
I'm not sure I made him happy, but I was able to address some concerns, and I think that he also understood that the personal market is they're wearing helmets.
We're not all a bunch of yahoos.
Yeah, we're not crazy folk. We're not like the crazy drunk people, which are sometimes going on the.
Those are the ones that make the news, and all of a sudden they think that's everybody.
Yeah. Even though that's, I'm sure, a small percentage of the shared riders as well. It's just they give it a bad name, and it's unfortunate.
So Toronto, we hope you'll change your mind and for the sake of all of our scooter friends out there.
Yeah. All right, and then let's get the Q&A done, and then we'll go to the Facebook giveaway. Right. So I'm just gonna talk about this guy Choice, or this person Choice Gaming. Had lots and lots of questions. It's great. Let's see here. Choice Gaming. Let me just find the question. I think
number 2 and 3.
The main question is it 2 and 3. Okay. So. So Choice Gaming asked, and thank you for sticking around and watching. This is for expert level e-scooter enthusiasts, I know. But what do you think about the entry level GoTrax Apex?
Oh, this is a great question. I just
did you have performance tested?
I did, and the data I just was actually
yesterday.
I performance tested it yesterday, and I was actually analyzing the data right before the show today. So
okay, there you go.
I don't, and to be honest, I don't even know. I wrote the numbers down, but I didn't really pay attention as to how well it did.
What's the price on that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just really haven't looked at the numbers for that one.
Well, it's a standard kind of. It looks like the kind of
it's like the
$300-400 GoTrax. Let me just. I'm gonna go on their website
and
real quick.
What we're doing right now is we're getting ready to do some material on inexpensive scooters, and so we're actually doing that one. I did a Macwheel Pro the other day.
$320. It's $329.
Wow. Yeah. It's kind of amazing that scooters even exist.
Do you have the specs? Could you get them?
They're, my laptop is running the screen right now, so it's in there.
Is it in the database?
Performance, the performance database.
Performance.
Yeah, actually, they'll feed
we'll
through
go comparison tool.
They'll feed through to pick comparison tool. Yeah,
Apex. Here it is. Got it. All right. Come on.
Blankety blank.
Oh, there you go. There it goes. Just took a second. So we got hill climb 25.5 seconds.
Yeah, so not blazing fast up the hill.
Braking 18. So
for a single brake, that's kind of that's
pretty normal. Acceleration 7.7, a little slow. Let me just actually look at it versus Like the XR Ultra, I think is around that same price, so $359, and actually the Apex is $329 right now. So the XR Ultra is pretty. Yeah, they sell a lot. So the Ultra I believe is going to be a better deal. It's better braking, faster up the hill climb a little bit, about the same acceleration. You don't have range yet.
No, I did not. Yeah, that's tomorrow probably.
Yeah, so we'll check that out. In that basically, if you're looking at a scooter that's $300, it's just not a lot.
No.
And GoTrax, their scooters are actually pretty good for that price.
Yeah.
They're, I think what you kind of lack, and at $300, you just can't expect amazing customer service.
Yeah.
And so, they don't have a great rating. But the scooters themselves, I've been riding their scooters since, the road trip, 2.5, whatever year. Well, I think it's almost exactly 2 years ago. So Google Photos, 2 years ago you were doing this. It was the road trip. And that V2 that they gave us, still going. And it was one of the scooters that didn't break on the road trip. So, the scooters themselves good, but know that if something like goes wrong,
you're kind of on your own.
You're kind of on your own. You don't expect that you're going to get quick or any help. And it's just the way that it is. But they're like, we haven't had many issues with them. But which of the GoTraxes? There's actually a video that we did on picking the right GoTrax. I actually think the G4 is the best scooter that GoTrax makes that I've ever ridden. Yeah. And it's only $399 or it's either $399 or $499. Let me just double check. I would absolutely recommend the G4 over basically. Yeah, actually it's $499.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is. For GoTrax, I think it's pretty good for GoTrax. But if you're going under that, I think it was the XR Ultra and the XR Elite being top. And yeah, if you wait, I don't know, a couple weeks, we'll have more data on the Apex, probably potentially a review. I'm not sure.
Something.
Okay, thank you for that question. Choice Gaming is asking, what's the fastest you've been on an e-scooter? Well,
fastest I've been is 59.4 miles per hour on the Wolf King.
Yeah. I'm guessing I don't know. I'm not that fast. I'm not crazy. I think high 40s for me.
Not even on the King. I think I did 50.
With the King, I don't remember what the King said when I was going fast on it, but
I'm hoping to break 60 pretty soon when we get our hands on the Nami.
Yeah,
the Burn E. Although I did see, actually, I meant to grab that clip, but I saw a clip of somebody crashing one, getting into kind of like what looked like a speed wobble and crashing, and I don't know much about it except they're just like it kind of came out of nowhere and wham.
No. John Richardson's asking, Raymir, is it Big Dog approved?
Which scooter? Oh, the
Air. I'm assuming it's the Air Pro.
I kind of answered it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. Find out tomorrow.
Even for John Richardson. Sorry, John.
All right, I think I spoke to him in the comments. I told him it was, it was meh. Like, it's not really rated for us, but you can ride it like the 9
Okay, so it's like you can ride it, but it's not the one you'd recommend because it's not meant for that.
Yeah, but I wish it was because
okay,
it's a cool scooter.
Cool. I think
that's pretty much it.
I think that's all the questions. Okay.
Old man Dan he's saying something about how when he goes to his meetings, his local council, state, all those meetings, they always bring up the uncompliant riders. Like people,
Yep.
That's what every
for the
industry
shared. Yeah. But we owe a lot of this industry to shared.
It's true.
It's
all right.
Something happens.
We like our
we love our Facebook community, and now it's time for the Facebook giveaway.
Oh, I like that.
All right. So shout out to Apollo for giving away this to our Facebook community. All you got to do is just like or comment on a post, and shout out to Mr. David
Vosk.
Okay.
Oh, it almost started again.
Yeah, it started with the bad one. So shout out to Apollo. I think shipping is actually
worldwide. Yeah, shout out Chris Mack. Eloi.
Yeah, so thanks for hooking it up for the people. So how do we do this, Ramir?
So we have this new tool. It's a randomizer tool. We have all the names. We're going to count down. It's going to do it like Wheel of Fortune, spin the wheel.
And all the names are on there?
Yep.
Holy moly, how did they do that?
Holy moly.
Are they
donut
actually
shop.
on there right now?
Yep.
I
Yes,
can't,
they
that's
are.
crazy. Okay.
So we're going to hit it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I see what you do. You snuck it in, Chuck. Somebody comment that. They're getting a purple Tony.
Hey!
And the winner is Erwin Josu.
Hey, congratulations, Erwin Josu. You have won. I think I can do. Look at that. While the music's playing, yeah, you got, double track. Anyway.
You get the pump.
Purple, wearing purple.
Well, it looks kind of purple behind me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Wearing purple
All right.
for me.
All right, let's this has been a heck of a show, you guys. Oh no, I can't turn the darn thing off.
Oh, what did you do?
Oh no.
We're gonna purple our way out
of
of the show.
You know what it is? I have to fix it. This is the sign-off music now today, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're just I can't turn it off, so I'll fix it. Like I know how to do it. It's like you just setting or whatever in the road. Anyway, thanks for Apollo for coming on. Thanks to Alex Simon for showing up and just doing everything that you do for the electric scooter community, showing all the people around the middle of the country, what electric scooters are. And then check out the Apollo Air and Air Pro. It's really one of the best reviews we've ever done. I know it's on a smaller scooter, so it may not get the crazy views of like the Phantom, but it's really a good review. And if you know people that are looking for entry-level scooters, this is a very good option if they want to have a good ride. What's so funny, Raymond?
Everything Chuck said is true. The song in the back. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys.
We're out of here.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Ride safe. Don't forget to wear your helmet.